The first time Maya saw him was at the hospital staff holiday party. She was adjusting a string of lights that had fallen, and he was reaching for a cookie from the dessert table. They both looked up at the same time, noticed the mistletoe, and froze. Before either could speak, an emergency code blared over the speakers. Maya, being the on-call surgeon, had to run. The second time was at her best friend's Christmas cookie exchange. He turned out to be her friend's new neighbor. This time, they managed to exchange names. Daniel, before his phone rang. His pregnant cousin was in labor. As a birthing coach, he had to go. The third time was at the local coffee shop's holiday open house. Maya was ordering her peppermint mocha when she spotted him in line. They shared a smile, both noticing the mistletoe hanging over the counter. But just as Daniel reached her, a group of carolers burst through the door, pushing them apart in the crowd. "We have got to stop meeting like this," he called out as the crowd swept him away. "At least we're consistent," she shouted back, laughing despite her frustration. The fourth time was at the city's tree lighting ceremony. Maya spotted Daniel across the square, and their eyes met just as the mayor began his endless speech. They slowly made their way toward each other through the crowd, only to end up beneath a strand of mistletoe strung between lamp posts. But right before they could reach each other, Maya's young nephew crashed into her legs, crying about his lost mitten. By the time she'd solved the mitten crisis, Daniel had disappeared. The fifth time was at the Christmas Eve party at her sister's house. Maya had almost given up hope of seeing him again when she heard a familiar voice. "I brought cookies." "From the hospital cafeteria," Daniel said, holding up a package of slightly stale-looking sugar cookies. "Thought we might need a reminder of where this all started." Maya laughed. "No emergency codes tonight." "My phone is turned off," he answered. "No pregnant cousins?" she asked. She had twins. "They're home and healthy." "No carolers," she insisted. "I checked." "The local choir is performing across town," he said. "No lost mittens." "I came prepared." He pulled out a pair of mittens from his pocket, making her laugh again. They found themselves drifting toward the doorway where, sure enough, a sprig of mistletoe hung. The grandfather clock in the hallway began to chime, marking 5 minutes to midnight. "You know," Daniel said softly, "I've been carrying these cookies around to every holiday party in town, hoping I'd run into you again. I may have volunteered to help decorate every event in the city for the same reason," Maya admitted, blushing. The clock chimed again. 4 minutes to midnight. "It's funny," he said, stepping closer. "After all our near misses, I started to think maybe the universe was trying to tell us something." "And what did you decide?" Maya asked, her heart beating faster. "I decided that some things are worth waiting for." 3 minutes to midnight. "No emergencies," Maya whispered. "None." 2 minutes to midnight. "No interruptions?" he asked. "Not this time." 1 minute to midnight. They both looked up at the mistletoe, then back at each other. 5 weeks of almost moments had led to this. The clock began to strike 12 as Daniel leaned in. "Merry Christmas, Maya," he whispered. "Merry Christmas, Daniel," she replied. And as the clock struck its final chime, they finally had their moment under the mistletoe. No emergency codes, no pregnant cousins, no carolers, and no lost mittens. Just two people who had crossed paths again and again until the timing was finally perfect. Later they would agree that the best Christmas gift that year wasn't wrapped in paper or placed under a tree. It was wrapped in timing and placed under mistletoe, proving that sometimes the best things in life come to those who wait, even if they have to wait through 5 near misses and a packet of stale hospital cookies to get there.